You're listening to my friend Gary Anderson on Night Dreams Talk Radio, the best in paranormal radio.
Well, hi everybody, this is Gary from the Compound. A lot of things are changing on our show, our network, starting January 5th. We're adding a couple more talk shows on it. We're going to have Eric Cooper, the S4 radio show, will be joining us from 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock Sunday mornings with a lot of, talk about UFOs and all kinds of stuff. I hope everybody's had a great week so far. In the news, well, more than half of financial officers believe, according to Wall Street Journal, we're going to hit a major recession by the middle of 2019, while the U.S. government posted a $2.5 billion deficit in November. I wonder if a lot of that has to do with the tariffs. And, climate changes is really hitting the farmers in the Midwest. That's all we need. Anyway, we have a great guest tonight. We're going to be talking about Bigfoot and maybe a few other little things. We got Samantha Wllen Ritchie will be on right after this.
Please check out the Night Dreams Talk Radio website at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. Also, if you want to keep our show free of advertising, just hit the donate button. Give a buck or two. Remember, all prior shows are always free to listen to. We at Night Dreams Talk Radio thank you for your support.
Well, Samantha, how is your day going?
I'm doing excellent. You, Gary?
Oh, I'm doing as good as somebody is going to turn 67 in January 8th.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting old.
Happy pre-birthday wishes.
Well, I want a Jaguar for my birthday, but I know that's not going to happen. But you know what? I always try to shoot something, for something big, and then I'm happy, even if it's a toy model Jaguar.
Oh, of course. Yeah. My wishes are I've already had a few birthdays, and I pretty much have decided what I wanted, and I've already had what I wanted, so I'm pretty okay with almost practically nothing at this point.
Well, it's funny. You start out life with nothing, right? And it seems like, you acquire all this wealth. I had some relatives that they were so, how can I say it? They wanted to be filthy rich. So all through their, when I was a kid growing up, I'd watch my aunt and my cousins actually, and all they would do was figure out ways to save on anything. Like on Christmas, you would get a Walt Disney bubble bath toy without the bubble bath, just the container, because it had, one of the figures of Walt Disney. That would be your Christmas present from them. They bought everything they could in thrift stores. They became multi-millionaires. They owned a lot of apartments up here in Washington State, and on property on Alki Beach even, some apartment buildings down there. And you know what? They lived like they were starving to death. And guess what? When they passed on, their 5 kids inherited everything, and 2 of them within a year, were filing bankruptcy. They didn't know how to handle a couple $1 million each.
Oh, so they probably lost it.
No, they did. They spent it, and it was gone, and that was the end of it. So what I'm trying to say is you start your life with nothing, and you end up with nothing, and whatever you have left that you acquire, you don't know where it's going to end up. Yep.
Well, it says that my philosophy is living as simple as possible, and I'm on the I'm getting close to, I'm heading your direction at 62, so I'm heading that downside where I'm trying to divest myself of what I have because I don't want to have to worry about it. I don't want my kids to worry about it either.
Well, one of my kids back a few years ago, Samantha, I refinanced my house back, maybe it was about 8 years ago. And he was really upset. I was taking him somewhere and he was in the car with me and he goes, "Dad, why did you refinance your house?" And I said, "Well, hey, I owned a couple businesses at a time." And I said, "I needed the money for the business." "But Dad, don't you realize when you die, that means we get less?" And I looked at him and I said, well, you know what? You want my gold fillings too?
I know.
But
it's a dilemma one way or the other. It depends on the circumstances.
Yeah,
it really does.
I don't know.
You know?
I'm going to live my life the best I can, and and make sure my wife is taken care of. And other than that, that's my kids' responsibility. To take care of themselves and their family. Hey, tonight, we're going to be talking Bigfoot and stuff like that.
Yep. Well, I think part of it, but it's a treat because I'm going to veer off into what I consider the psychic paranormal a little bit. My friend Anita just arrived here, and she's instrumental in some of the stuff that I might be talking about tonight.
Oh, great!
So
now, did we get rid of that? Did we get rid of that feedback echo we had?
Oh, I don't have that right now because I'm not using the speakerphone, and we're going to try to manage. And she's going to try to hear a little bit, and of course, I'm going to get her input about some of the things. So it'll be more about passing the phone off between us.
Oh, that works. One guest I had on recently was complaining the whole time they were getting an echo, and at the end of the show, I was talking to him, and I said, I don't know what it could be. I got all new equipment, everything else. You're the only one getting an echo. Turned out she had a speakerphone, and she was using it.
Oh, yeah. I had the same problem with another show I was on, and I guess what I need is just a little bit more fancier headphone sets to share it between if I have more than one person. It's just like anything else. Even if you're a guest on a show and you're using a telephone, you kind of got to watch your end too if you're going to be on very many of the shows. So hey, it's just the nature of the game.
Yeah, and you can buy an adapter. It goes into your plug if you're listening to it on a smartphone or whatever, you can split the headphones off to two different people.
Oh, that's true. That's something I'm going to probably have to look into.
Okay, well, let's get going. I'm already getting people, asking me questions, so let's get going, Samantha.
Okay, cool. Well, and first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to some of the stuff I'm going to be talking about isn't covered by a picture, but if anybody wants to follow along with what I do cover is I'm going to plug the website they can go to, and it's planetsasquatch.wordpress.com/show. And you go to that link, and basically you'll be able to see some pictures. The first 4 or 5 pictures will be covered tonight. And with what we have to talk about, we're just going to be able to make that within a full hour.
Oh, great.
So, but what I like to start out with, I want to, before I start talking about Anita's connection with myself, and I don't think I covered this before in the previous shows before, maybe on a couple others I've been on, but, it seemed like, and especially I brought this out in my first book, had to do with my connection with the psychic first. And it just seemed like different things started happening about 10 years ago. Went through a lot of traumatic changes because my spouse 20 years passed away in 2010. And a little bit before that. And I started seeing some really weird things. First of all, the most evident paranormal thing started happening was seeing numbers. Now, I had I was associated with a particular Christian denomination at the time. I kept seeing the number 666 everywhere. I mean, absolutely amazing bunch of places where I saw it. I don't care what it was the time of day. I saw it in receipts, and I went to the restaurant. I saw numbers flipped up, and it was 999, and the wind knocked it down and became 666.
Not a good number to have.
Well, what I know about the 666 wasn't a really good connotation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that made me think. It says you often think about the randomness or Murphy's Law or just something. I don't know. It's not Murphy's Law, but just the odds. A law of probability and everything. And the law of probability is out the window when you start seeing these things left and right. I mean, it's just your attention is on that. License plates start showing it and everything. So I went through some changes spiritually, too. And as those things changed, the numbers changed as well. Instead of seeing 666 all the time, then I started seeing the numbers 444 all the time. And then I saw 44. It was like 44 past the error. Every time I pulled into a stopping point like a restaurant or back home, it was always 44 minutes past the hour. Or the time I'd wake up in the middle of the night, and it would be 4:44. I mean, it just went on, and it's been going like that for 8 years.
Oh, wow.
Every single day I can count at least 8 to 10 times that this is a recurring deal.
What do you think it is, Samantha?
What it is, I think there's what we attribute to randomness I've come to learn the universe is intelligent. Everything about the universe, everything around us, everything we're connected to is intelligent. This intelligence is actually communicating with us. And I think when they present these numbers, that it actually is a signal to us that we are tapping into the universal consciousness, and that we're getting aligned up with it. And the more you see it, I did do my research about these numbers. There seemed to be some significance to different kinds of numbers showing up, like 333, or 444, and 555, and things like that. And each one had a particular connotation. In general, the one I saw all the time seemed to be the flagship number was 444, and it's pretty significant too. So, and it did coincide with and you know what? The reason I want to mention that is because it coincided with a change in my life spiritually. And then, and what's really weird about this number is that when I'm in a company with someone who's never seen these numbers before, and then they start hanging out with me, all of a sudden they start reporting the same thing. They start seeing the number everywhere. And even recently, a friend of mine, Barb,